Hello everyone. Today, we are going to study about resources and development. Let's just get started. Firstly, we will define resources. Resources are vital elements available in our environment that can be used to fulfill our needs, provided they are technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable. Human beings play a significant role in transforming materials from the environment into resources for various purposes. Resources can be classified based on several criteria. Firstly, resources can be divided into two categories: natural resources and human resources. Natural resources can be further classified into renewable and non renewable. Human resources can be divided into structures and institutions, and quantity and quality. These can be further classified, as shown in the flow chart here. Resources can be classified based on several criteria. Let's discuss few of them. Classifying on the basis of origin. Biotic resources. These resources are derived from the biosphere and include living components such as human beings, flora and fauna, fisheries, etc. Abiotic resources. Abiotic resources are composed of non-living things, including rocks and metals. Resources can be classified on the basis of exhaustibility as well. Renewable resources. These are resources that can be renewed or replenished through physical, chemical, or mechanical processes. Examples include solar and wind energy, water, forests, and wildlife. Non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources, once consumed, cannot be replaced. They take millions of years to form and can be recyclable, like metals, or non-recyclable, like fuels. We can classify resources on the basis of ownership. Individual resources. These are privately owned resources such as private land, houses, etc. Community-owned resources. Resources accessible to all members of a community, like public parks or picnic spots. National resources. Resources that belong to the entire nation, regardless of individual or community ownership. International resources. Resources located beyond 200 kilometers of the exclusive economic zone in the oceans, which require permission from international institutions for use. Further, we can classify resources on the basis of the status of development. Potential resources. Resources found in a region but have not been utilized or developed yet. For example, regions like Rajasthan and Gujarat have significant potential for wind and solar energy. Developed resources. Resources that have been surveyed and their quality and quantity have been determined for utilization. Examples: petroleum and coal. Stock. Resources that have been surveyed but cannot be used due to the lack of technology or other constraints. Example: inflammable gases like hydrogen, oxygen, which can be used as a source of energy. However, due to lack of technology, this isn't happening. Reserves. Resources that have been surveyed can be used with existing technology, but their utilization has not yet begun. Examples include water stored in dams and unexplored forests. Development of resources. The development of resources is a critical aspect of human survival and the well-being of society. However, the unchecked and indiscriminate use of resources has led to several major problems. Let's discuss few of these. Depletion of resources. Many resources have been depleted due to the greed of a few individuals who exploit them without considering the long-term consequences. Some of the examples are deforestation, mining for fossil fuels and minerals, pollution, etc. Resource accumulation. Resources have often accumulated in the hands of a few individuals or groups, resulting in societal divisions between the rich and the poor. Ecological crisis. Indiscriminate exploitation of resources has caused global ecological crises, including issues like global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, and land degradation. Now, we will discuss about sustainable resources. To address these issues and to ensure a sustainable and equitable distribution of resources, it has become essential to adopt sustainable economic development. Let's learn about resource planning. Resource planning is a crucial aspect of achieving sustainable economic development. It involves the careful management and development of natural and man-made resources. The goals of resource planning are to develop, maintain, and conserve resources for the benefit of current and future generations. Further, let's look at resource planning in India. India, with its diverse natural resources, requires resource planning at various levels, that is, national, state, regional, and local. Different regions in India have varying levels of resource availability and development. For example, some states have abundant mineral resources but lack infrastructure and urban development. There are several steps of resource planning in India. Identifying and documenting available resources through surveys, mapping, and estimation. Creating structured development plans supported by innovation and technology. Aligning resource and development plans with the nation's overall development goals. Land resources. Land is a critical natural resource with multiple uses. It supports natural vegetation, wildlife, human settlements, economic activities, transportation, and communication systems. Land is limited in size, so its effective use is essential. Let's look at land distribution in India. Approximately 43% of India's land area is plain, providing suitable conditions for agriculture and industry. About 30% of the country's land is mountainous, ensuring perennial river flow and offering opportunities for tourism and ecological preservation. The Plateau region, constituting about 27% of India's land, is rich in mineral reserves, fossil fuels, and forests. Land utilization. Land resources are used for various purposes, and their utilization can be categorized into different types. Forests. Land used for forests and natural vegetation. Land not available for cultivation. Areas where cultivation is not possible or suitable. Land put to non-agricultural uses. Land used for non-agricultural purposes such as urban development, industries, infrastructure, etc. Fallow lands. Land left uncultivated for a certain period. Other uncultivated lands excluding fallow land. Lands not used for cultivation but not classified as fallow. Net sown area. Land area used for actual cultivation. Here, these two pie charts shows general land use distribution. The first one is of 1960 to 1961. The other one is of 2014 to 2015. Now, let's look at land use pattern in India. The pattern of land use in India is determined by various factors, including physical and human factors. These factors include topography, climate, soil types, population density, technological capability, culture, and traditions. However, it's essential to note that land use data is available for 93% of India's geographical area because land use reporting for most northeastern states has not been completed. Additionally, some areas in Jammu and Kashmir, occupied by Pakistan and China, have not been surveyed. Land degradation is caused by various human activities such as deforestation, overgrazing, mining, and quarrying. To control land degradation, several measures are taken. Afforestation. Planting trees and creating forests to prevent soil erosion. Shelter belts. Planting rows of trees or shrubs to protect soil from wind erosion. Control on overgrazing. Implementing measures to limit the grazing of animals to prevent soil erosion. Stabilization of sand dunes. Planting thorny bushes to stabilize shifting sand dunes. Proper management of wastelands. Converting wastelands into productive areas through suitable management practices. Now, let's see soil as a resource. Soil is one of the most important renewable natural resources. It serves as the medium for plant growth and supports various living organisms. Several factors contribute to soil formation, including parent rock, climate, temperature changes, and natural forces. The classification of soils in India is based on various factors such as soil formation, color, thickness, texture, age, chemical, and physical properties. Now, let's look at some major types of soils in India. Alluvial soils. Some of its major features are found in the entire northern plains of India. Also present in the eastern coastal plains, particularly in the deltas of the Mahandi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri rivers. These are highly fertile and suitable for agriculture. They are intensively cultivated and densely populated areas. These are rich in potash, phosphorus, making them ideal for crops like sugarcane, paddy, etc. Now, let's move on to black soil, also known as Regar soils. Found in the plateaus of Maharashtra, Saurashtra, Malwa, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and along the Godavari and Krishna valleys. Composed of extremely fine clayey material. Known for their moisture-retaining capacity. Rich in calcium carbonate, magnesium, potash, and lime. Next, we have red and yellow soils. Found in areas with low rainfall in the eastern and southern parts of the Deccan Plateau. Also found in parts of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, southern parts of the middle Ganga Plain, and along the Piedmont zone of the western Ghats. Develop a reddish color due to the diffusion of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rocks. Next up is laterite soils. Develop in areas with high temperature and heavy rainfall. Found in Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh, and hilly areas of Odisha and Assam. Suitable for cultivation with adequate doses of manures and fertilizers. Low humus content due to the destruction of decomposers like bacteria in high temperatures. Lastly, we have forest soils. Found in hilly and mountainous areas with sufficient rainforests. Features of forest soils differ based on location. Loamy and silty in valley sides and coarse-grained in the upper slopes. Silt in the lower parts of valleys, especially on river terraces and alluvial fans, makes these soils fertile. Soil erosion and soil conservation. Soil erosion is a natural process that occurs through various environmental factors like wind, glaciers, and water. However, human activities can significantly accelerate soil erosion. Let's discuss soil conservation methods. Strip cropping. Planting different crops in alternating strips to reduce soil erosion. Planting shelter belts. Growing trees and shrubs in rows to block wind and reduce erosion. Contour plowing. In hilly areas, plowing along contour lines to prevent water runoff. Terrace farming. Creating flat platforms on hillsides to trap water and reduce erosion. These methods help protect soil from erosion and maintain its fertility for agriculture. Now, here's a secret on how you can study effectively with the EduRev app. You can learn with chapter notes, watch video lectures, and solve NCERT-based MCQ tests of this chapter on EduRev. And that's not all, you also get amazing courses for Class 10 and much more for your Class 10 preparation. Thank you.